Have you been to the pyramids?
I've seen the pyramids in Mexico. Yeah. And I look at they're gigantic. And you really have to start saying to yourself, what would the wherewithal bill be? What would the building materials and the labor entail to build those pyramids? And I'm saying to myself, this has to be some type of a supernatural force. All of Mexico could not build those pyramids. Why build a pyramid? What do you derive from it? What's the point? You can't feed yourself. Anyway, long story short, there's a supernatural character to many of these pyramids. And I would contend that some of these pyramids have an evil character to them. I'd have to be specific to each pyramid here and there. But
what makes you say that?
Many of those pyramids give credence to evil or to the devil. They don't give credence to God, to Jesus. So many of those pyramids credence or they acknowledge evil. They acknowledge evil. Many of those pyramids, in my estimation, are temples of evil. I don't believe they're temples of enlightenment. It's been said that many of these pyramids were places of human sacrifice. Well, that's not advanced. That's rather evil. That's rather barbaric. So I would just caution the audience, there are some things that we don't quite understand, and this gets into the realm of the supernatural. I believe many of the pyramids had a supernatural origin.
Okay, a couple of questions. My presumption would be that any sacrifice associated with the pyramids would be someone who just came across the pyramids and they're like, oh, sweet, a thing that we can use, that it was already there when those sacrificial cultures came, and they're like, for some reason had sacrificial culture and they just use what was there. That would be my most plausible assumption.
Okay.
But then, so when you say supernatural, how is that different than scalar?
Well, I'm speaking now of the construction of pyramids. Many of the pyramids, if you look just how ornate they are and how sophisticated they are, that some pyramids actually capture scalar energy. Those scalar energy batteries or capacitors. To this day, I don't think we have the knowledge to create a stone pyramid that would serve as a capacitor, would create or at least harness scalar energy. So that's the supernatural character. In other words, I don't believe man had that intellect 3,000-4,000 years ago to create hundreds of pyramids that would all capture scalar energy, and that their design was essentially flawless design. I don't think we had that capability 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. So I attribute some pyramids to a supernatural building, supernatural design.
I find the most plausible explanation to be just a well practiced engineering species, like the ancient aliens hypothesis, like people that are really good at building pyramids and harnessing scalar energy, and they had like a very specific use to build those pyramids. You said, why build a pyramid? So it seemed like if you're gonna be able to build lots and lots of huge pyramids, you would have the scientific and engineering knowledge to be able to do that.
You're right. Somebody had the scientific and engineering knowledge to do that. Again, it's my contention 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, it wasn't man. We were not that advanced 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. So I firmly believe that the fallen angels, the demons, have created many of the pyramids. I'll go on record by saying that.
And my understanding would be that fallen angels, as they're sort of written about in the Bible, are simply like a different race that operates from sort of a higher perspective of consciousness.
Yeah. They whether it's an angel of light or an angel of darkness, these angels still have supernatural ability. They're angels. They far exceed human ability, far exceed the ability of man.
Right,
both
but I think you're
intellect.
calling it supernatural when really like whatever they're able to do should be explainable by physics on some dimension, right?
Yes, can be explained by physics, scalar physics. What am I getting at? I believe there are angels, and I believe they are scalar energy beings. And this is why an angel has such incredible ability, because they can control nature through scalar energy. So yes, if we look at it just as a mere human, so to speak, it's supernatural, because an angel can control nature, can control this, has dominion over nature through the scalar energy realm. And that's what I'm getting at. Scalar energy is a new branch of physics. And once we harness this and once we understand this, we have dominion over nature. So my instruments are the beginning entree, if you will, to controlling that supernatural realm, the realm of scalar energy. It's incredibly powerful instruments.
I guess I'm right there with you. I just want to, in my mind, I like to place it as supernatural is like something that maybe we will never be able to understand. And I like to think like all these things have to operate from basic principles of how the universe works. And so it's just at some point we may be able to understand the mechanisms.
We do. You and I do. We realize that many of these characteristics that we look at today are scalar energy consequences. Going back to an earlier statement, many of the quasars, pulsars, that's not electricity, that's not magnetism, that's a scalar energy event. And if we look even today at some of the pyramids, they seem to be able to control a certain atmosphere. For instance, it's been known that sometimes if a rodent is found inside a pyramid, that rodent will not decay, will not experience chemical decay. Meaning what? That's a scalar energy environment, that entropy is slowed down at least, and that even if a rodent were to lose its way inside a pyramid, it would not break down, it would not experience the chemical decomposition inside a pyramid as opposed to outside the pyramid. Why? Because a pyramid captures and harnesses scalar energy. It's a different environment inside a pyramid.
Yeah. I've been wanting to build just like a pyramid frame for meditation, just to like sit in it and see if that enhances anything. Have you considered doing anything like that?
I actually use a pyramid on top of one of my Tesla coils. I surmount a copper pyramid right over my Tesla coil, and that seems to set up the scalar wave, this double helix wave. So I can attest to the fact that a pyramid will enhance a scalar signal. I've done this most of my life. So I'm very big on form. I'm very big on how function follows, in this case, the geometric forms that we use with scalar energy. And again, to speak to that point, I work with the copper pyramid, and that serves to allow me to set up this double helix, to create this incredible double helix.